Lesson 141. Have you ever wished you had a superpower?
Hey Anna, have you ever wished you had a superpower?
Of course. Who hasn't? I'd love to be able to fly or have super strength.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. But what about something really weird, like the ability to talk to squirrels?
What? Why would I want to talk to squirrels?
I don't know, maybe they have some juicy gossip about what's going on in the park.
I highly doubt that. But okay, what about the ability to turn invisible? That would be pretty useful.
Yeah, that would be cool. But imagine trying to explain to your friends why you suddenly disappeared.
Good point. Okay, what about the ability to talk to plants? You could be like a superhero gardener.
That's actually not a bad idea. You could solve all kinds of plant-related problems.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe the plants would be grateful enough to give you a free supply of oxygen.
Yeah, because we all know how expensive oxygen can be these days.
You got that right. But in all seriousness, it's interesting to think about the different kinds of abilities we could have and how they could affect our lives.
Yeah, it really makes you appreciate the abilities we already have, like the ability to laugh and have fun conversations like this one.
Absolutely. Lesson 142. Do you believe in absolute truth?
Hey Anna, do you believe in absolute truth?
That's a pretty deep question, John. But if you're asking if I believe in things that are always true no matter what, then yeah, I guess I do.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But what about something like, the best pizza toppings are pepperoni and mushrooms?
Okay, now you're getting into some dangerous territory. That's a matter of opinion, not absolute truth.
Fair enough. But what about something like, gravity exists?
Yeah, that's definitely an absolute truth. Unless we find some kind of weird alternate universe where things don't fall to the ground.
Yeah, or maybe in that universe, pizza toppings are an absolute truth.
Now you're just getting ridiculous. But it is interesting to think about how some things are always true no matter what, while other things are just a matter of perspective.
Yeah, and I think it's important to recognize the difference. It helps us make sense of the world around us.
Absolutely. But can we go back to the pizza toppings for a second? Because I'm pretty sure the best toppings are actually pineapple and ham.
Okay, now you're just being ridiculous.
Lesson 143. How's your academic life going?
Hey Anna, how's your academic life going?
It's going well, thanks for asking. I'm learning a lot and enjoying my classes.
That's great to hear. What's been your favorite subject so far?
Definitely psychology. It's so interesting to learn about how the mind works and why people do the things they do.
Yeah, I can see why that would be fascinating. But what about something more practical, like math or science?
Hey now, psychology can be practical too. Plus, I don't think you understand just how practical it is to be able to read people's minds.
Fair enough. But what about something like history? That's pretty important too.
Absolutely. But let's be honest, the only reason you think history is important is because you're secretly trying to travel back in time and change something.
Okay, you got me there. But seriously, it's important to understand the past so we can learn from it and avoid making the same mistakes.
I totally agree. And who knows, maybe someday you'll be thanking me for all the fascinating psychological insights I'll be able to share with you.
Yeah, maybe. But for now, can you help me with my math homework?
Lesson 144. What do you think is acceptable behavior in public?
Hey Anna, what do you think is acceptable behavior in public?
Well, I think it's pretty simple. Just don't be rude, don't make a mess, and don't do anything illegal.
Yeah, that's a good point. But what about something like wearing socks with sandals?
Oh no, are you guilty of that fashion faux pas, John?
Maybe once or twice. But seriously, do you think it's acceptable?
Personally, I don't really care. But I know some people get really worked up about it.
Yeah, and what about talking on the phone in a movie theater?
Definitely not acceptable. That's just common sense.
Agreed. But what if it's an emergency?
Well, then you should step out of the theater and take the call somewhere else.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It's all about being considerate of other people.
Exactly. And if you want to wear socks with sandals, I won't judge you too harshly.
Thanks, Anna. You're a true friend.
Lesson 145. Do you know how to access the internet?
Hey Anna, do you know how to access the internet?
Yeah, John, I think I know how to use the internet.
Okay, I know that was a silly question. But seriously, do you ever get frustrated when you can't access something online?
Definitely. Especially when I'm trying to watch a movie or TV show and the website won't let me in because I'm not in the right location.
Yeah, that's the worst. But what about when you forget your password and can't access your account?
Oh man, that's the absolute worst. It's like the internet is holding your entire life hostage.
Yeah, it can definitely feel that way sometimes. But at least we have password recovery options, right?
True. And thank goodness for those. Otherwise, we'd be locked out of everything forever.
Yeah, and then we'd have to resort to using actual human interaction to communicate with each other.
Oh God, that sounds terrifying. Let's hope it never comes to that. Lesson 146. Have you ever had a bad experience with accommodation while traveling?
Hey Anna, have you ever had a bad experience with accommodation while traveling?
Oh yeah, definitely. I once stayed in a hotel where the bed was so uncomfortable, I swear I might as well have slept on the floor.
That sounds awful. Did you complain to the hotel staff?
Yeah, but they didn't really do anything about it. I think they were used to hearing complaints about the beds.
Yeah, some hotels definitely prioritize cost over comfort. But have you ever stayed somewhere really luxurious?
Yeah, once. It was amazing. The bed was like sleeping on a cloud, and they had a hot tub in the room.
That sounds like heaven. I've never stayed anywhere that fancy.
Well, maybe one day you will. But honestly, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Sometimes it's the simple things that make the biggest difference, like a good cup of coffee in the morning.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. I once stayed in a hostel where the coffee was so bad, I had to go out and buy my own.
Oh no, that's the worst. But at least you learned an important lesson: always bring your own coffee when traveling. Lesson 147. Do you want to accompany me to the new sushi restaurant?
Hey Anna, do you want to accompany me to the new sushi restaurant that just opened up down the street?
Sure, I'd love to. I've been craving sushi all week.
Awesome, let's go. But fair warning, I'm not very good with chopsticks.
Don't worry, John. I'll teach you. Just don't embarrass me in front of the sushi chef.
Thanks, I appreciate it. But seriously, have you ever had a bad experience with a dining companion?
Oh man, where do I even begin? There was the time my friend kept stealing food off my plate without asking, or the time my cousin talked with her mouth full the entire meal.
Yeah, those are definitely some dining faux pas. But what about when someone insists on paying for the entire meal?
Well, that's always a nice gesture, but it can also be a little awkward if you're not sure how to respond. Do you offer to split the bill, or just let them pay?
Yeah, I know what you mean. But don't worry, I'm not going to insist on paying for everything.
Good to know. I'll make sure to bring my wallet just in case. Lesson 148. Accidentally posted that embarrassing photo.
Hey Anna, do you remember that time you accidentally posted that embarrassing photo of yourself on your social media account?
Oh God, don't remind me. I was so mortified.
Yeah, I bet. But at least you learned the importance of double checking before you hit post.
Definitely. I also learned the importance of having a private account.
Yeah, that can definitely save you from some embarrassment. But have you ever had trouble accessing your account because you forgot your password?
Yeah, that's the absolute worst. Especially when you have to go through all those security questions just to reset it.
Yeah, and then you feel like you're being interrogated. What was the name of your first pet? What is your mother's maiden name? Exactly. And then you start questioning if you even know the answer to those questions yourself.
Yeah, it's a vicious cycle. But at least we have the option to reset our passwords, right? Yeah, thank goodness for that. Otherwise, we'd be locked out of our accounts forever. Lesson 149. Do you think you're a pretty accurate judge of character?
Hey Anna, do you think you're a pretty accurate judge of character?
I like to think so, but I've definitely been wrong a few times. What about you?
Same here. There have been some people I thought were great, but then turned out to be not so great.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. But at least we're not in charge of hiring people based on our judgment.
Oh man, can you imagine? Sorry, we can't hire you because Anna thought you were too shady.
That would be terrible. But accuracy is important, especially when it comes to things like research.
Yeah, I remember when I was in college and I thought I had found the perfect source for my paper, but it turned out to be completely inaccurate.
Oh no, that's the worst. Did you have to start over?
Yeah, pretty much. But hey, at least I learned the importance of fact-checking.
Definitely. Accuracy is key, unless you want to end up with a failing grade. Lesson 150. Have you ever been falsely accused of something?
Hey Anna, have you ever been falsely accused of something?
Oh yeah, all the time. When I was little, my little brother would always blame me for things he did.
Classic sibling move. But what about as an adult? Have you ever been accused of something you didn't do?
Not that I can think of. What about you?
Actually, yeah. One time in college, my roommate accused me of eating all of his pizza, but it was really him who did it.
That's too funny. Did you confront him about it?
Oh, definitely. But he denied it at first until he finally confessed.
Well, at least you got the truth out of him. But false accusations can be pretty serious, especially in a legal setting.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I don't think I'd do very well in a courtroom.
Same here. Let's just hope we never have to find out. Lesson 151. What's something you've always wanted to achieve in your life?
Hey Anna, what's something you've always wanted to achieve in your life?
Well, I've always wanted to learn how to play an instrument. What about you?
I've always wanted to climb a really tall mountain, like Mount Everest.
That's ambitious. But achieving our goals takes a lot of hard work and dedication.
Yeah, but it's worth it in the end. I mean, can you imagine how accomplished we'd feel if we actually did these things?
Definitely. But let's start small, like maybe learning a simple song on the guitar or hiking a small mountain.
Yeah, good point. Rome wasn't built in a day, after all.
Exactly. And who knows, we might surprise ourselves and achieve more than we ever thought possible.
Hey, you're right. Maybe I'll start with hiking a small mountain and work my way up to Everest.
Baby steps, John. Baby steps. Lesson 152. Do you think people don't acknowledge your hard work enough?
Hey Anna, do you think people don't acknowledge your hard work enough?
Sometimes, but I think that's just how it goes. What about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way sometimes. But then again, I also forget to acknowledge other people's hard work sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. It's important to recognize and appreciate the effort that people put in, no matter how big or small.
Absolutely. And sometimes a simple thank you can go a long way in acknowledging someone's hard work.
Definitely. It's like the old saying, you catch more flies with honey than vinegar.
I've never heard that before, but it makes sense.
It basically means that people respond better to kindness than to criticism.
Ah, got it. Well, I'll have to remember that next time I forget to acknowledge someone's hard work.
Yeah, and who knows, they might just acknowledge your efforts in return. Lesson 153. Have you ever been in a car accident?
Hey Anna, have you ever been in a car accident?
Actually, I have. It was a minor fender bender, but still scary nonetheless. What about you?
Yeah, I've been in a couple. One time I rear-ended someone because I was too busy singing along to a song on the radio.
Oh no. I hope everyone was okay.
Yeah, luckily no one was hurt. But it was definitely a wake-up call to pay more attention while driving.
Yeah, accidents can happen to anyone, even the best drivers.
That's true. But the important thing is to be careful and always follow the rules of the road.
Absolutely. And if you do get into an accident, make sure to exchange insurance information and call the police if necessary.
Good advice. Let's just hope we never have to use it.
Agreed. Here's to safe and accident-free driving. Lesson 154. Have you acquired any new skills lately?
Hey Anna, have you acquired any new skills lately?
I learned how to make homemade bread during quarantine. What about you?
That's impressive. I haven't learned any new skills, but I did acquire a new hobby, collecting vinyl records.
Oh, that's cool. What kind of music do you like to collect?
Mostly classic rock, like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. But I also have some jazz and blues records.
Nice. I've always wanted to start a vinyl collection myself. Maybe you can teach me some tips.
Sure, I'd love to. And who knows, maybe you'll acquire a new hobby too.
That would be great. I'm always looking for new things to try and learn.
Me too. Life is all about acquiring new experiences and knowledge.
Definitely. Let's keep acquiring and expanding our horizons.
Triple
Lesson
X.
155. Have you ever walked across a tightrope before?
Hey Anna, have you ever walked across a tightrope before?
No way, I don't have the balance for that. Have you?
Nah, I would probably fall off within seconds. But have you ever walked across a long bridge or a high wire walkway?
Not really. But I did go ziplining once and that was pretty exhilarating.
That's awesome. I've always wanted to try ziplining, but I'm a little afraid of heights.
Yeah, it can be scary, but it's also a lot of fun. You should definitely try it sometime.
Maybe I will. But for now, I'll stick to solid ground.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Walking across solid ground is still an adventure in its own way.
That's true. And who knows, maybe one day we'll both have the courage to walk across a tightrope.
Or maybe not. Let's just stick to our feet on the ground for now. Lesson 156. Have you ever been in an action movie?
Hey Anna, have you ever been in an action movie?
No, I can't say that I have. But I did once accidentally knock over a vase and catch it before it hit the ground. That was pretty action-packed.
That's impressive. I once pretended to be a secret agent and went on a mission to retrieve my friend's lost phone. It was a pretty intense adventure.
That sounds like fun. Did you get the phone back?
Yeah, we found it hidden in a bush. It was like a real-life treasure hunt.
That's awesome. I love a good adventure. What other action-packed things have you done?
Well, I did once go skydiving. That was definitely the most intense thing I've ever done.
Wow, that's incredible. I don't know if I have the courage to do that.
It was scary, but also exhilarating. You should try it sometime.
I don't know if I'm ready for that, but I'm always up for a good adventure. Let's go find some more action-packed things to do.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get into action.
Lesson 157. Do you like to stay active?
Hey Anna, do you like to stay active?
Yeah, I try to stay active as much as I can. I go for runs and do some yoga to keep myself in shape. What about you?
Same here. I love to go for a run or hit the gym. But sometimes, I just like to be lazy and binge-watch Netflix.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. Sometimes it's nice to just relax and do nothing.
Exactly. But I think it's important to stay active and healthy too.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard that sitting for long periods of time is really bad for you.
Yeah, that's why I try to get up and move around every hour or so.
Same here. I'll sometimes do some stretches at my desk to get my blood flowing.
That's a good idea. And hey, we could always do some jumping jacks right now to get our heart rate up.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to break a sweat in the middle of the office.
Come on, Anna, let's get active.
Alright, fine. Lesson 158. What activities do you like to do in your free time?
Hey Anna, What activities do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I love to go hiking and explore new trails. I also enjoy playing tennis with my friends.
That sounds like fun. I've never been hiking before, but I love playing basketball and going for a swim.
Oh, basketball is great. I used to play in high school. And swimming is such a good workout.
Yeah, I always feel so refreshed after a good swim. Do you ever go to the gym?
Yeah, I do some weightlifting and cardio there. But I have to admit, it's not my favorite thing to do.
I hear you. I always struggle to stay motivated at the gym. But I find that doing activities I enjoy, like playing basketball or going for a swim, keeps me active without feeling like a chore.
Exactly. I think it's important to find activities that you genuinely enjoy, or else it becomes a chore.
Yes, and it's a great way to stay active and have fun at the same time.
For sure. And who knows, maybe we'll try out a new activity together sometime.
I'm down for that. Let's stay active and keep trying new things.
Lesson 159. Have you seen the latest movie with that famous actor?
Hey Anna, have you seen the latest movie with that famous actor?
Which one? There are so many talented actors out there.
Yeah, I meant the one who played the superhero in the latest blockbuster.
Oh, you mean Chris Hemsworth? He's definitely one of my favorites.
Yes, him. He's such a great actor, and not to mention easy on the eyes.
Oh come on, John, don't tell me you have a man crush on him.
Maybe just a little bit. But seriously, he's a great actor and always puts on a good show.
Yeah, I agree. But there are so many other actors out there who are just as talented and deserve recognition.
Very true. Who's your all-time favorite actor?
That's a tough one. But I think I have to go with Meryl Streep. She's an absolute powerhouse and can play any role with such grace and ease.
Wow, that's a great choice. She's definitely one of the best out there.
Thanks, John. But at the end of the day, it's all about enjoying the movies and the performances, no matter who the actor is.
Very true. Let's grab some popcorn and enjoy the show.
Lesson 160. Have you heard about the actual cost of living in the city?
Hey Anna, have you heard about the actual cost of living in the city? It's insane.
Oh yeah, I've definitely felt the impact on my wallet. The actual prices for everything from rent to groceries are crazy high.
I know, right? And the actual traffic in this city is unbearable. It takes forever just to get from one place to another.
Oh yeah, the actual traffic is just the highlight of my day. I love sitting in my car for hours on end.
And don't even get me started on the actual weather. It's supposed to be spring, but it feels like winter all over again.
Oh yeah, the actual weather is just perfect for all those outdoor activities we love to do.
Oh yeah, The actual cost of living, traffic, and weather make this city a paradise. I love it here.
Me too, John. It's just the actual best.
Well, at least we can laugh about it, right? That's the actual silver lining.
Yeah, it definitely helps to have a sense of humor about it all. Please like and subscribe. And welcome to watch more videos from our channel.